PR Connections Radio presents. This show is brought to you by Paid Per Letter. Write letters and make a difference. paidperletter.com/Uncle Dan.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Today, we're going to be interviewing Joshua Tristan. He's going to be giving us a background about himself and his journey. Nice to meet you today, Joshua.
Nice to meet you, my friend.
So do you want to tell us a little bit more about yourself and what got you to be the amazing individual that you are today? And what would you like us to know about you for those that are watching today?
Wow, what a wonderful introduction. You know what? Let's just go with, let's just start with the people that influence you. I think that is who really kind of creates the individual that you are now. And the people I share DNA with, my mom, my dad, have always been giving. It's always been a part of their nature. They actually met big brothers, big sisters in Montreal in the 70s. And then following that, even after they had divorced, and they continue to impact their community, both, in their separate rights. My mom very much in the education side of things. So always, even when she wasn't at work, she was doing something that had to do with communications and education. And then my father shifted his attention almost entirely to veteran-related activities, whether it be fundraising for a new VFW location or flags on Main Street, or now he produces Veterans Day events down in Florida. So while, most of his peers are, teeing up at the golf course, he's trying to figure out how to make his event a little bit better the next year, and my mom actually, even after she retired, went and got certified as a traumatologist, and then went and volunteered, for the Red Cross for almost a decade. Wow. Yeah, she just retired back from that.
Your mom went the educational route, and then your dad went kind of the business route a little bit more so. And that's something that they both find peace and happiness in, and joy, really, because I know that your dad's friends that go to the golf course, they're just going there to find that peace and happiness. So, but your dad's like, no, I'm gonna go this other route. That's much better for me.
He certainly has balance. You know what? I mean, my parents are great influences on me. My business associates, I've been really, really fortunate in. I've really had a lot of mentorship throughout my career. So people that have had great balance, and even at 50, I'm still working on balance. So
when you're talking about your parents, are you talking about them because you feel like they've influenced who you are today? And can you tell the listeners a little bit more about who you are and what exactly you do? Are you also a businessman? What would you like to, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
When I was just leaving college, there was a major shift in the economy, and it put an awful lot of men that were about my age now into the workforce. So 40s, 50s, very accomplished people that then decided that they were going to become consultants. And so there wasn't a whole lot of jobs other than sales. So I was just really kind of out of necessity worked in contract sales. And I would take contracts short term to help somebody develop a new sales channel. My background out of college, that's where kind of the giving aspect and the business of giving happened, was I was fundraising with events and activities through college, and then I was helping other groups on a campus to also fundraise.
And so you're saying that overall, you started off in sales, mm-hmm. And did you start your own organization? And you're talking about the business of giving. Is that what inspired you to contribute to the community, or were you already contributing to the community beforehand?
I've always felt there should be a balance between community and commerce. You know, most business people, I think, have a good understanding that their business is being built because of the community. So when there's an opportunity to give back of time, money, or resources, you just got to figure out which one of those you can do in a healthy manner. I, until the last couple of years or post pandemic, I really found myself maybe kind of scarcity, scarcity in time, scarcity in money, trying to give back. So in a very intentional manner and very purposeful manner, I started planning how could I give back at the level and the scope that I wanted to. So I started looking for brands that I could work with that would allow me to do that. So for the last couple of years, I'll talk about like one of the brands that I'm working with now, the organization that we're working with the Lions Club and Lions International, Conflict Paralysis Now. I mean,
I'm listening. Sorry.
Oh gosh. Okay. Sorry. There's a little bit of static there. So here's my thought process. And this is what made me got me excited about talking with you guys. The business of giving. I think when you make giving really part of your culture, part of your business, it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing at all. It's not gratuitous. It's just part of our nature. Our American business climate is actually one of the most generous in the world. Excuse me. So where in a lot of other countries they have a different set of social services, we've actually overcome that by giving. So we've got foundations and we've got nonprofits and whatnot in the community. And what I say to people when you look at the business of giving is just find your fit. There's multiple chambers of commerce out there. Find the group or find your right tribe. Better Business Bureau, marketing organizations. And so networking in the giving community also has a lot of merit in helping you grow your business.
So for your humanitarian efforts and community involvement, what exactly do you consistently get involved in? What type of community involvement are you currently doing and have done in the past?
Well, currently I'm working with the Lions Club International. What I love about it, it's a flow-through organization. It's an organization that, although we have some focuses, like our club in Las Vegas focuses on eyesight, but we also look at other organizations that we can give back to as well. So if we can do some fundraising for another organization, or we can shift attention to that organization, we will. Like recently, we started working with Nevada Cure, which they produce barbecues on the weekends. And with the leftover food, they go and distribute it to families in need. So Lions Club, we are actually helping with a food truck or a food trailer to help them with their distribution needs.
So it says here that you get involved in supporting child, senior, and veteran related causes worldwide. Can you talk a little bit more?
Keep that simple. Those that came before us built the paths that we're on. Those that come after us, the kids, those are the ones that we gotta protect and we gotta guide. And then those that protect us, and now most of my focus is actually on veteran related activity, because that in itself is actually the most diverse community you could possibly have. You've got, especially in America, every single ethnicity is in our military. Gender, very diverse. Parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, kids, so our military is an unbelievable community. And I feel like having the focus on our veteran community allows me to really kind of tap into my interests, which are helping, again, seniors, kids.
So my question to you earlier, you mentioned about how you were part of some type of organization that for eyesight. Were you at the event that guy was holding where they had that mechanical eyesight thing? I think I've met your table before, but I just want to make sure if you were part of that one. That was amazing. Because go ahead, you talk about it a little bit more, and then I'll give you my perspective.
Well, I think what's wonderful is this: is that we've actually had members buy those out of their own pocket. I mean, those are about $8,000 to buy one of those machines. And so some of our members have actually gone and said, you know what, I'm going to buy one of those, and so that we can service, again, more families in need with giving them those tests.
Yeah, because when I went over there to that event and they had this, so basically what they have is they have like a machine, apparently $7,000, and basically they'll put it on your eyesight to see it's on your eyes to see what your eyesight is. And when they did mine, it was spot on accurate. It knew exactly what my prescription was, and I thought that was amazing. I was thrilled. I was like, what? How? That's amazing. I didn't even have to go through a whole doctor's session to go see what my prescription was, even though I did have to, because I want to know. I knew what my eye prescription was. I thought that was amazing. So when you're talking about sales, is that primarily the thing that you do in sales? It's that eyesight machine that you mentioned?
Oh, myself, actually, I've actually spent most of my career on high risk, high yield marketing, which is, again, the sales channel for any organization, whether it be taking a product to market or rebooting a sales channel for somebody. That's kind of where I've spent the time, and then helping train some of the sales folks, going out and taking those first few yeses and your first few nos to help with the sales process. That's kind of how I've spent that time. So I've done that in just about an awful lot of industries. I've done it in automotive, healthcare, technology, media, whole bunch.
So that's primarily sales, but for different communities and organizations, right? Is that where you're going?
It is. And now I spend most of my time. So I when I talk about balance at the beginning of our conversation, I took a very formulated approach to it. Is I decided, okay, on Fridays and Saturdays, I'm going to find a way to give back to the community. So whether it is I'm going to go out and fundraise for somebody, or I'm going to spend some time at an event as a volunteer. And then my other 4 days are the days that I spend on commerce. So again, my split is, 2 days on community, 4 days on commerce. And we talk about selling. Most causes and charities have this huge heart and this huge intention and purpose, but they don't have as much the sales side of things, other than, maybe asking, and whatnot. And they don't have so much time. They really don't have that much time to go out and go out and raise that money. So, I've always believed that when you're giving, you should stay in your lane. So let's say you're a great mechanic. Well, maybe you could help with some mechanical related issues or whatnot that an organization needs. If you are a marketing company and you've got some materials to do, just like Guy does. I mean, he took all of his marketing background and he's taken it and he created cause marketing, in the Chamber of Commerce. So he took, a couple decades of experience and started an organization that's in line with what his expertise is. And I think that's the best way to give back. So when it comes to selling, give me a list of folks and I'll hook them for you. And all you got to do is, tell them, all you got to do then at that point is tell them about yourself. Let people make a decision on where they want to give their time, money, or resources.
Yeah, it looks like you're speaking from experience too with your advice. When you said you want to give back to the community, you're saying if you want to give back, dedicate a day or two within the week to give back to the community, dedicate your time, but make sure to dedicate it in something that you're an expert in, or something that you're really great at, and that you know would make a greater impact in the community, which I definitely agree with. As long as you've done your research, you could do multiple things, if as long as you know what you're doing and you've got that background and that experience in it, right? Is that where you're saying what you're saying too, right? So what kind of other advice would you give, since you're able to give us what you've done to focus your efforts on community giving? What kind of advice would you give to someone who hasn't quite gotten?
Shop it. And the best way to shop it is to go volunteer. Go volunteer for an organization, and when you're there, you're talking with the other peers that you're volunteering with. You're talking with the volunteer coordinator, and often the person that handles development for your organization is at an event, so you can talk to them. You know, recently
Is that
we
into your peer-to-peer learning sessions that you were speaking about before the podcast?
yeah, that was something that we used to talk about. So we would, with our learning sessions, what we would do is we'd always bring in an organization that could introduce who they were, what they were doing, what they had done in the past, what they had planned in the future. And that gave an introduction to our network, to an organization and an opportunity to give back.
Can you talk more about that organization that you're talking about now that does the peer-to-peer learning, so that those who are listening could get also involved in whatever you're working on for that specifically?
I would say hands down, find a Lions Club near you. The Lions Club is actively looking for members. Often their events are, they're geared around a meal. So whether it be a dinner or a lunch somewhere, and they get together on a regular basis. The cool thing is that most Lions have been Lions for decades. It's incredible the amount of experience that you'll learn, you'll gather during those. And that to me is when you talk about peer-to-peer learning, that's the best place for it. Is go out to an organization like that. That is international. They've got over 1 million members worldwide. Again, very, very diverse. I mean, in our group, we have people that are retired from Silicon Valley. We had a retired carpenter. We've got a chiropractor. We've got a retired DA. We've got active members as well. We've got somebody who volunteers with FEMA as well, and she gets deployed there. So the giving community is one that, until they find that one organization they can really work with, they will migrate between organizations. And that's the best way to do it. Just go volunteer, look for volunteer opportunities, and spend, a couple hours with an organization, and then do that several times until you find a group that you really resonate with and people that you want to visit with. Giving in continuity of giving comes from finding an environment that you're comfortable plugging into on a continuous basis. That's how you're really going to make an impact.
Yeah, that's great advice. I think that also with getting involved in the community, the best way, like you said, to do it is to just do it. To just find something that you're passionate about and just get on in and just get started with it. No matter what it is. If you've got some free time, fill it in with, like you said, different events or different organizations that you might be interested in doing in general.
You got it.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you got it. I'm just saying, that's well said.
Well, you're the one that said it first. I was just repeating what you said. Do you have any other personal goals or professional goals that you're working on now that, other people could also get involved in currently right now that you're thinking of doing or planning on doing?
Well, let's say you're already working with an organization. find something where there can be some sort of residual income or ongoing income. Like one of the things I'm working with our annual golf tournament. That's something I'm going to be working with on an ongoing basis. And then what I did recently is I started looking for businesses that I felt they were timely. They're in the now. One of the companies and one of my interests is mushrooms. And so understanding the nutritional aspects of mushrooms, the medicinal aspects of mushrooms, so I just became, not fungi obsessed, but you know what, I'm fascinated by it. And there's actually a great documentary on one of the streaming services right now, and it's called Fantastic Fungi. So through that, it's interesting how the universe, when you become intentional about a direction, it started with my mushroom cookbook. So I found a mushroom cookbook and I just started reading it, just looking at the different ingredients, whatnot that were out there and recipes. And then my first portobello mushroom burger, I thought was, whoa, that was outstanding, stuffed with cheese. And then after that, it was interesting is that I had a friend reach out to me with a company called Eons. And what they did is they went out and figured out how to extract, all the goodness and then put it into things like, calm and focus or sleep, and then they've got a fantastic mushroom coffee, so I think that on a broader scale, whether it be, so let's say it's specific, find an organization that when you buy from them or you frequent that establishment, that part of their proceeds go back to something. So that's one way that you can give back. Or you can go out and find a product that you can use to elevate. So when we talk about goals, my goals are that through prosperity, I can be very, very intentional in my giving, and more, and be able to give more. So finding the right gigs that allow me to do that. And I ask clients now, I'm like, hey, what's your giving strategy? And is that something that I can help amplify?
Yeah, I think you said that and great. I think also in today's day and age, if anybody is trying to do any type of specific passion project that they're going to be working on, like you said, if they just do that research ahead of time to see what is out there and what is available to them, then they'll be able to get involved a lot easier. They can utilize the different social media platforms that are out there, and find products like the ones that you mentioned earlier. You said that that's your book. Is that one your book? Or you wrote that, or someone else wrote that?
Nope, just a book that I found, the
Okay.
Mushroom Lovers Cookbook. I thought it was fun, and it just spoke to me.
Yeah, so it's something that you did research on. You found it. You were like, I'm really interested in this. I'm passionate about this topic. And then you went in and you bought it and you got involved. So now, do you also do sales for these products that you've also been involved in?
Interestingly enough, is that when we started talking about the interview today, I had literally just done the research, and I had decided to work with Eons, and it was timely. It was very much one of those things where it's like, hey, they have the company and the founders very much want to put a dent in the universe. And I thought, well, now I don't have to sell them on us giving back. All I got to do is plug into what they've created.
Yeah, and you've also worked with a diverse number of organizations and product reviews because you're a salesperson. So you've seen a lot of different type of products out there, and done sales for them, or just done in general your own research on those specific things, which gets me to wonder on how do you utilize your social media right now in order to promote or just send your message to others?
Gosh, I feel that with social media and what I've done in the past, throughout the pandemic and then post pandemic, was when I had thoughts that I felt really helped clarify a feeling or a thought, then I would share that. And then as far as, harvesting from my network, I really haven't. I've been building my network in an intentional manner so that someday when I felt like I wanted to take something back to my tribe, it would be a group of like-minded individuals. So when you look at my LinkedIn, it started out with a lot of these folks that I've helped with either their businesses or that we've had interactions with real estate, or marketing or media. And so, although I don't have the vast amount of followers that some people do, I know that the effective net worth of my followers is significant because of who they are and what they have done in their careers.
Yeah, and you know that it's not about the following really that it makes you successful. It's mostly about the type of community that's following you, the type of niche that you're in that is willing to get involved in that specific area that you're currently in or currently discussing. You could have 1,000 followers, and if not even one of your 1,000 followers wants to get involved, then it's are they really following you? They're just there. They're just interested. They were like, oh, that's a cool topic. I'm not currently going to get involved in it, or I will be getting involved in it. You mentioned your LinkedIn. Are you currently on, like you said, you're on LinkedIn. So how can we connect with you on LinkedIn or any other social media platforms if we're out there and we want to get involved as well? Or just
If
saying
you throw my name, if you throw my name into just like any entrepreneur, you're going to see, a variety of things. But LinkedIn does a great job of marketing. I know pretty much anybody that's on LinkedIn that has a following that's and that engages in it gets great Google placement. Or you can just put in my URL that I use often is 777 living, so 777living.com, and I grabbed that domain name after the pandemic because I really wanted to convey that luck favors those with a plan and a purpose. Often people think that luck is a coincidence and it's just something that you trip over. Nah, look at some of the most successful people in your circle, the people that really have been intentional about what they're doing in the universe, and they're doing it because they had a thought and then they followed it, and they were intentional and purposeful in their
and they work really hard. Yeah.
And the universe favors that. The universe favors hard work, focus.
That's amazing. Yeah, I agree with that completely. Anything that you want to do in life, if you work hard towards it, you can 100% accomplish it. You will be supported spiritually and in the physical world as well. People will be seeing what you're working on and they'll be wanting to get involved, which is why I keep stressing the whole, how do people get in contact with you and how can they get involved as well? What advice do you have for everybody? Because those of you guys watching that want to get involved, sometimes it's hard to get involved when you're just thinking about it. You're like, I really want to, but I don't know how. This is a great start. Watching these videos and learning about these individuals who are doing amazing things in the community is a great first step for you. Thank you so much, Joshua, for this interview. I really appreciate your time today, giving us your perspective, your thoughts, and all of your advice that you've had shared with us today.
Likewise, appreciate all your thoughtful questions. Thank you, Joshua. Have a great day, everybody, and hope everybody follow your dreams.